Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Cassie. I talk about video games, do video game reviews, unboxings, and all sorts of other video game related topics. Today I want to talk about the Game of the Year nominees for the Game Awards. Tomorrow Jeff Keighley is going to announce all of the nominees for every category in a video. I think it goes live around like 11 a.m. Central Time. That's where I am. I'm only going to talk about the Game of the Year. He usually does about 6 games, I think, every year for Game of the Year nominations. And these are not going to be my personal picks. I will talk about my top 3 or whatever maybe after this. So far, it's ongoing because there's still games that I'm playing from this year, and I don't have enough of game time on those to really give that much of an opinion, I guess. I really don't like kind of giving ratings or voting for things until I've actually finished the game, because sometimes the ending can completely change how you feel about a video game. But yeah, so these are my nominations, my what I think is going to be nominated for Game of the Year. First one, this is a lock, absolutely 100%. Astrobot is going to be in the nominations. Astrobot just, it's a really incredible game. It got like 9s and 10s all around. I personally think it's a 10 out of 10 video game. It's an excellent platformer, probably one of the best that we've had in a long time. Especially we just don't get 3D platformers hardly anymore, or collectathons or anything like that. It's got so much nostalgia built into it, but even besides the nostalgia, I think it's just a good game on its own, without even the cameos and stuff. I think it's great. So I think that will be my number 1 vote. I personally think that might win Game of the Year, but I would hope that it would, but I don't know that it will. My second guess is going to be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I think if Astrobot doesn't take the Game of the Year, it will be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And it's a very high possibility that it will be. I have not played Rebirth. I played at least halfway through Remake when it first came out, but that was in 2020, and at the height of COVID and everything, I quit playing and I did not go back to finish it. I did like what I played of Remake, but I do need to go back, and I'm gonna have to start over because it's been so long since I played it. And then eventually I will get into Rebirth. But yeah, so many people liked Rebirth a lot. This year kind of started out really strong with RPGs. You had Dragon's Dogma 2, you had Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, which a lot of people also probably would put on there, but I don't know that it will get nominated, to be honest. It probably should. I mean, the whole franchise is really good. I mean, I'm working through the franchise right now. It's taking me a while, but because there's a lot of them, and I'm only on 3. But Elden Ring, The Shadow of the Erdtree. This is only if they include DLC, which I think they just announced that they would. So I think that's going to be nominated. Almost want to put that as a lock. Rebirth is definitely a lock. Astrobot is definitely a lock. And Shadow of the Erdtree, I think it's a very high possibility, and considering that they came out and said, yes, we will include DLC for some of these things, I think they did yesterday. I think that just kind of comes to show that that's probably what they're considering. It's not going to be Persona 3, I can tell you that. I did not like that DLC very much. But yeah, so I have not finished Elden Ring, so I have not played Shadow of the Erdtree, but what I played of Elden Ring was really good. But I need to go back and play through it again, or actually finish it. It was just another time I don't know, I was so busy like doing other things that I don't know. Sometimes it's really hard for me to finish these really long games. Um, it takes a lot of effort and time. And so that's why I play a lot of indies, a lot of games that are under like 20 hours. That's kind of my cup of tea. And I do like longer games. It's just it takes forever. Um, the others are kind of not really locks. But those three there are the locks. I do think Black Myth Wukong will be there. Just because I know for a while it was like one of the highest downloads on Steam or whatever. I didn't hear as many people talking about it, which is kind of weird. I think maybe worldwide it was probably more popular in other countries than it was here. I'm not sure. It did look really cool. It looked really neat. The fighting mechanics looked interesting. Kind of looked kind of like a Souls like game. And then it had like a lot of like Chinese mythology in it, which looked cool. So, but I don't know. It may get in there. Um, I've got like seven, um, that I think could be. It's kind of like a stretch maybe. Um, Helldivers 2, just to throw in multiplayer, I think that would probably be the number one pick, from what I've heard from people. I don't play multiplayer games really. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 did get a lot of praise, but I think the campaign's stronger probably than the multiplayer is. I'm not sure. But Helldivers 2, a lot of people said it's really, really good game. Even those that are not really into multiplayer as much. So I think it has a chance of being nominated. Metaphor Refantasio, or Fantasio. I have put in some time into this game, not nearly as much as I would like. I'm currently working on it, but I'm working on like 6 other games, so I've not finished it. I'm not even like halfway through. I'm still in the cathedral. I've got a lot to go. um, I think it's a really fantastic game from what I've played so far, and I think it has a high chance of being up there. I don't know if it's popular enough. I do know that they said that Metaphor, I think, outsold all of the Persona series. At least in the opening week or whatever. I'm not sure like all around if it did or not, but which is fantastic. I don't know. It might be nominated. And then just to tie in, just in case they do include an indie game, I think Balatro has a high chance of being up there. Balatro is an excellent roguelite card game, kind of like a poker, blackjack like. I've never really played poker. I've not really played much of blackjack, but I did complete a run of Balatro finally last week. Took me about like 9 to 10 hours to complete a run, and it was really, really fun. I do want to go back through and try to beat the other decks as well, because I think that would be fun. It's going to be a game that I just kind of play on the side for a long time. It's incredible, even for those who aren't really into card games that much, because I always say that I'm not, but whenever I start a card game, I'm like, maybe I am. So I think it's just the momentum to get into the card game from the start, and then but it's highly addictive, and I would highly recommend it. There's a possibility that they could put Zelda in there. I don't think it's the quality is there personally for Echoes of Wisdom. It has a lot of performance issues, and that's kind of what brings it down for me. But, you know, Nintendo, they probably got to throw something in there, right? So there's a possibility that they might do that, but I don't know. But yeah, that's all the nominations I can think of that would be considered, possibly. I think, yeah, that's just those three as a lock: Astrobot, Final Fantasy Rebirth, and Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree. Those are locks. The rest are kind of maybe, possibly. Yeah, that's what my predictions are, and I know I went for 8 instead of 6, but that's fine. I know it'll be 6. I think it's 6 every year, so I just couldn't really narrow it down to 6 from that because I'm just really not sure. But my personal 3, and I'm only including those that I've beaten. So Astrobot, that is my personal game of the year. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. I think Thank Goodness You're Here is an excellent indie game. It's hilarious. I guess like if you're into like that Monty Python type of humor, which I've only seen Holy Grail, but that's one of my favorite movies and it's hilarious. It's only about 3 hours. I played it in one sitting, which I usually don't even play 3 hours of any video game in one sitting just because there's a lot of things to do and don't always have time, and unless it's really, really hooking me. I think Balatro is also in my top 3. There's several that I'm working on that could. I really like Echoes of Wisdom a lot, despite its flaws, and Metaphor is really, really good, but I'm still super early in, so that's why I have not put that in there. But yeah, that's what I predict, and until next time, I will see you guys later.